Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to Module 3 in the price action series. In this one, I'm going to be talking about dealing ranges and just range-bound environments and things like that. So let's hop right into it. It's going to be a little different than what we're usually accustomed to with the slideshow. But I'm going to show a few things, right? So we have here on Ethereum. I'm going to talk about the short that I actually took last night. So when it comes to identifying a range, right? We have a trending move, right, on a higher time frame or something else like that. Just a big volatile move, an expansive move. It doesn't always have to be on HTF. It can be on LTF, right? So you are looking for the first swing low to form, right? So here we have our first swing low that forms right here. And then we have our first swing high that forms. Initially, this could be your first one, right? These are always kind of subject to change, but you wouldn't really want to use this one because we have an untested level above this, right? So you can see that we only test here. It retraces and comes back down to that. You usually want your range to close back into a midpoint after creating a high, right? So if that makes sense, it's kind of difficult to explain, right? But you want from swing low to swing high, you want price to at least retrace back to the midpoint, and then this would be a good dealing range that you're going to play the extremes on. Also, you can use your visual range volume profile. I'll talk about this more in another module, but this can sometimes be a good parameter on what exactly your range is. Right, so in here is our value area, right? And we have rotational bits from the value area high to the value area low. So you can see you're looking to play the extremes of the range, assuming we remain range bound, of course, right? Things are subject to change, but you're looking to play rotations from the extremes of the range with acceptance back into the range. So you can see that price is rotating from value area high to value area low to value area high, back to test value area low, back to value area high to come back down and run value area low, and so on and so forth. Right, and we actually do go to run all the way down to the extreme of the range here, but we'll get into that in just a second. So as you can see here, we have this is an example. Let me draw one on this. Right, so we have a swing low that forms. Right, price. This is actually probably a better bit of the range. Now there's things. There's no right or wrong way to draw a range. They get changed around all sorts of different times, and things like of that. This one didn't really give me a good short setup on it. I took a long on this before on a sweep of this low. It had something similar with Bitcoin, but we broke this, right? But we only swept this low back into what was a demand zone, right? So we took a long on that before, but you can see we have, you know, a rotation here. We've gone from value area low to value area high. This one could have given arguably a decent short setup here, right? So you can see we come up, obviously we break this, but we come back down to retest. We have this really harsh move back down into this, and we're closing candles really, really close to this midpoint. Usually when you see something like this in a break, you want to see price come up, either test this low here that formed the highest high, right? This low that formed our highest high here. And then you would like to see price either retest here, which it does, right? Or you want to see price break the range, retest the highs of the range, and then continue upwards, right? But you can see we don't fully get that. Instead, we get we get lots of wicks firing up into, this is a supply zone here. It's part of the extremes of the range. Whoops. Right? Up into this. We're only making sweeps up into this. Right? Can't seem to get over this. It's a nice little supply we got here. Right? And we break back in. Right? Our swing low here that is formed is broken on this candle here. So you could have looked for shorts up into a move this now up into our respected supply, which is currently being here. We've tested here, we couldn't make a higher high, we make a new low, right? On a retest, supply here is still respected, right? So this one didn't really give a clean short setup, but I'm going to talk about the short that we just took. But that's like a short thing for ranges, right? For how to draw them. They look different all the time, right? Even in this one, you can see we come up, we really only sweep. This one actually made equal highs, right? But it's still mostly a sweep. We've got supply here that's being respected. Right? We can't make a higher high to fill this imbalance. And we break back into the range. We sweep the low, and you get some retracement. But then when we come back down, price isn't really, you would really like to see a bounce from here, from some, first off, you would really like, let me go for hypotheticals here. You would really like for this to break, right? For us to break above this and come back down and retest and hold this range low. Instead, we kind of sag further back down into this low, right? So for one, that's kind of a big no-no, right? It's not something you particularly want to see. We're closing candles below our midpoint here, right? So it's kind of, it's pretty bearish, right? So you could have went for a short in here on this, right? And found some good stops. Look for us to take out the poor low that failed to make the higher high. I'd look for something like this likely. Nice little 2.5 hour trade. Right, you want to find your nearest supply point. So we got one here. We shouldn't break back above this. Right, come back down, we retrace. You could have took a short here as well, seeing how we were really heavy. And then you can see that this plays out here. Let me turn this up just a bit. Right, so you can see now we've got another range forming, right? We're actually right at the midpoint of our higher time frame range that we're playing in, right? So we've got a clean break out of this other range. Right now we have some supply forming here, right? A little bit of resistance there. Let's see. Yeah, and then we have resistance here at our previous range low. Yeah, right there. 1 hour supply, right there. So we'll probably, I'll leave this here for now, but that's really what we're looking to play. This will probably get swept into. Right, so we've got like another bit of a range here forming. We're testing some levels. Right, so we got so far this to this. Let me clear this out now that you guys have at least an idea. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of our midpoint. Right, so we're ranging here. We broke out of the range here. Right, and we've accepted a bit back into it. Right, so we'll watch here. We go back above again. So this low so far hasn't been tapped. We've really only swept into this now, and we've pretty much swept this. We didn't get a full tap into our supply here, but it's looking pretty good considering the fact we only swept this. Right, so we've got some acceptance back into the range. And then we got price starting to look really bearish to the downside, right? So we swept up into this. We have untapped range lows. See, what do you got? Stopped on that, right? We get this really nasty wick down. Right, we're lolling around here, doing some funny business. Right, we get a pretty nice break here. And then this was what my trigger was. Right here. So I actually drew my range wrong initially too. Because you can see before that we, how I had it drawn before was we didn't fully trade back down into it. So kind of a mistake on my end there. I'm supposed to be the one teaching you guys. But took a trade here, posted it on Twitter. I think I have my stop somewhere like there. And we Bart. Right here was where my fill was, by the way. And we come back down to test a range low, as well as we have an untapped range low here on our HTF, as well as some pretty equal lows here on this one. And boom, comes down, hits our HTF range low, and this is from today, where we begin to reverse. Right on the nice sweep of the low there. Right, so you would at least look for now, even for price to become rotational again. Once we've hit an HTF low, you'd look for it to at least come back to the highs. Right, because we've reached some form of acceptance back into the range. Alrighty, everyone. This is gonna conclude what we had going on for this episode of the PA series. Remember to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments or join the Discord and ask me. It will be in the description. And thanks for watching.